Right, I've got a deal on a bunch of these chainsaws, and they're all in various conditions. Some of them are complete, like this one here's got the pull start out of it, this old Mac. They've been butchered a bit. Some have got bars and chains on them, which is good. This one here, this little Victor 40cc, it's a complete chainsaw. Doesn't look like it's done no work. Something's going on with that. And we've got this Echo here. They pulled the wires out. And tell me about it, they've cut them off. All of them, even the spark plug cap. I don't know why. But this was a look at the condition of it, and things done no work, they just wrecked it. I put the cover back on it because this was already pulled off it. I just stuck it back on there. It's filthy dirty too. These McCulloch ones here, they're complete. There's two of them. There's this one here, which is the pull start has been cut off the handle. We've got another McCulloch there, which is complete too, which has got a good bar on it too. Got good bars. We've got a box of stuff here with they just pulled the covers off them, and you know, whatever else. This little Echo here, little mini Echo, little arbutus saw, and other parts here. I think the first one we'll look at is, these will be done over mobile videos. They got a little Stihl 009 here. It's all complete, which is nice. And they all seem to have good compression. This one's just a parts one, they've pulled stuff off that. I think the pull starter might be in there. Don't know what the cylinder's like inside it, but you know what they're like when you buy this sort of thing. There's another Stihl one here. It's another little Stihl arbutus saw. It's complete. And we've got a Stihl 114 there. And yeah, I'll get it set up and we'll check this Victor, this one out first, because you know, whatever I can get running. And we've got some Echoes. So yeah, once I get set up, I'll mix up some fuel and we'll check this Victor out and we'll see what's going on with it and why it's not going. Alright, first before we start, we have to measure out a litre of fuel, so we're going to need to make it 25:1, so we're going to need to put in, yeah, so it'll be 200 mils for 5 litres. We're going to have to put 40 mils in, 40 mils of oil. So we'll just it's a little bit over. Just pour that straight in. Like that. And we want to put a litre of fuel in there. That's a litre. And what we want to do is, to make it easier, we need to put this fuel in the fuel can. What we need to do is, when it gets down a bit, swish it round to mix the oil in. Whoop, no tipping everywhere. Right, yeah, just to make sure the measurement's right, put in 40 mils of oil, so 200 mils, 5 litres. 25 litres would be a litre of oil, so it's 25 to 1. So that's the fuel mixed up. Alright, now I've got the fuel mixed up, I've got myself a compression tester because we want to check the compression of it. So we need to have a look in here to see what's been going on. Always when you stuff around the chainsaws and that, check the compression, even when they look good. Like this thing looks brand new. Got me chainsaw mechanic here. Here's everything. Alright. So what we'll do is we'll take the spark plug out, which this chainsaw looks brand new to me. Why it's not going is the question. So it has been going. If you look at that spark plug, it's looking a little bit grey, which tells me that it's probably been a little bit lean. But it has had oil though, because you can see the oil on it. So what we'll do is we'll check the compression of it. I've got myself a compression tester here. You should always check the compression of chainsaws before you go working on them. Just take that from me. I've worked on chainsaws and thinking they've had good compression and wasted heaps of time. So what we'll do is so we've got 100 and got a I hope you can see that properly. We've got 105, 110, 115. We had about 120 psi compression, so we know the compression's good, isn't it? Which you got to check it anyway, because you can't go guessing this. Because, like I said, I've felt chainsaws and I'm thinking, you know, they've had enough compression. And you go to start and you spend all this time and they're stuffed. So just a quick check of the compression's good. And whenever you finish with these, pack them straight back up, put them back in the box. This is a compression tool I brought, Silverline petrol engine compression testing kit. I think this was something like 45 bucks or something, delivered 50 bucks, not bad either. So I'll just pop this back in the shed and we'll get on with the chainsaw. Alright, so we know spark plug gap looks good. That looks good. So let's check for spark first before we do anything else. Now it's going to be a little bit tricky because I have to try and jam in there on the cylinder. Can't tell if it's got spark or not. Oh yeah. Yep, it's got spark. Now to get it out of there, I'll change it in. Alright, so we'll put the spark plug back in it. And I'll do that back up. The spark plug tool. Alright, just get your spark plug tool. And I've got all these chainsaws virtually at giveaway prices for the whole lot. I like to buy stuff that other people can't figure out. So always nice because, you know, just most of them only need a little bit of TLC. They can get fuel locks in the carb in that ear and that, and the petrol don't get in there. So, you know, there could be numerous things. This is probably going to be one of them issues. Because it's got a bit of petrol in there, what we'll do is we'll get a sample of that petrol. What I like to do is, because it's already got gas in there, we'll chip some out. And you can see that there, it's got hardly any oil in it. Got a little bit of oil, but very little. So we don't want that in there. That explains why on the plug it's leaning a bit. So once you've drained the fuel out, put some fuel in it. Next step is, it's got a primer bulb on here. It says to pump this 6 times. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's got it on that sticker there. 6 times. So pull the choke out. We've got it on. Take the chain brakes off. I don't know if they've got any bar oil in it. Oh, geez, that's tight. Yep. Looks like they've been putting bar oil on it too. Well, if this doesn't run properly, probably just needs a tune up this. So what we'll do is we'll sit on the ground. You've got to put your dog inside because you don't want to make the dog deaf from the chainsaw. You always look after your dog's hearing protection. Good boy. Make sure when you're using the chainsaw, make sure you've got a pair of earmuffs or earplugs. Don't make yourself deaf as a doornail so you can't ever hear anyone. listen to it now at like 4 strokes. Listen to this still can. That's a good chainsaw. Will it restart again? Let's try and restart. There you go, she's running. She's a runner. Alright. I'm not even going to worry about stuff or anything more about that one's going. Now, I've never had much to do with these Stihls, these little mini Stihls, so let's bring one over. And we'll take. So as I'm looking at this Stihl, we can see here that they've cut the end off the spark plug lead, so that's good. That's the problem I can see already. So what we'll do is we'll take the bar off it and we'll have a look. What size is this one? 009L Stihl. 009L. This should just pull off. What's holding on? You know what? I think it could be the chain brake's on. That's why it wouldn't come off. The chain brake was on. That's why it made sense. It was holding on by the band. So they've butchered up the coil wire here. Let's take the spark plug out. Looks alright too. Hang on a sec, I'll just let my dog back out. He's waiting to come back out. I'll put him in there when I had the chainsaw down. So I'll just let him back. Alright, I'll let him out. So what we'll do is, to make this easier, I'll take the bar off this chainsaw. Take the bar and chain off it. That way you don't have to worry about that. And for a lot of people don't know that if you're not sure, you know, what sort of cylinder that you got, all these Stihl and Husqvarna chainsaws come out of mallee. I don't know if you can see that on there. Hopefully you can. All these cylinders are mallee. They're all come out from factory. They're very high quality, original OEM cylinder them. So what I'll do is, before I do anything, I'll get my compression tester out and we'll check the compression on this one too before we do anything else. As I said before, don't go spend any time on these chainsaws until you check the compression, because, you know, like I said, if they're stuffed, like, you know, if the comp's aluminum, you waste your time even working on them. You know, they're only good for parts. Unless you want to put an aftermarket cylinder or something on it. I mean, you could do that. What we'll do is we'll put our gauge back on. I cross my fingers and hope it's good. Because I really like this chainsaw, it's complete. Apart from the dicky coil. as you can see there, it's got 105, 110, over 110 psi compression in that. I've got a slow leak too. I'll just pull it a minute. Yeah, we've got over 110, so that's good. It's got good compression. Ain't going to cause any trouble. He's my best mate, the mechanic here. And yeah, eh? Yeah. Alright, so we'll pack up the compression tool in the case. Decompression, I don't know where I got that from. Compression tool. So we know it's got a good motor in it still, so got a good set of rings out, which it's probably done no work hardly, this chainsaw. I mean, if you look at it, it doesn't look like it's done a real lot to me. Like, it's not all banged up, it's still got the original stickers on it. No cracks in it. Throttle works good. Can't fold it apart from someone hacked at the coil. It's a BM6A in GK. I think that's exactly what these chainsaws come out with. I'm looking in the cylinder at the moment. Like, I mean, you guys can't see what I'm looking at, but looking in there, and it's, the pistons are not all carboned up either. I don't know by this gasket here, this green one, if that's, I don't know if that would be OM or not. I mean, that gasket looks, this chainsaw's quite old, and they might have had it rebuilt sometime, put a new cylinder on that. The cylinder doesn't look like a pile of junk, and the gasket looks very good. Not sure if they come out with green gaskets on these or not. What they did is they undone it and they curled the wire around this to hold it on there. That's just silly. So what I'll do is, I've got a bunch of coils in the shed, and we'll try and do some. I've got myself another coil here. Now, some of these coil wires and that, like wherever the coil is, this one could unscrew. Not sure if it does or not, but I reckon there's enough on here, this coil wire, to hook up to the spark plug. And what these do is that these lock in the wire. So we need to undo it. This is how a lot of Stihl, old Stihl ones going. This is just an old junk coil, cheap Chinese crap. But this is what I use a lot of them for, just for the coil wires and that. What we need to do is we need to cut that off. We can't have that on there. And we need to put that one's in the wire. I think it's gone in the side of it. Yeah, it has. Now, what we have to do is, when I put no boot or nothing on it, I'll just put it on here, and I'll sit it on the cylinder. And we'll see if we've got spark. Which it says off stop. Yep, we've got spark all right. Very strong spark too. What I'll do is, I'll just hold it. Whoops, I'm going to knock on that out. I'll try and hold it here. See if I can. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or not. see it properly. Don't think you can see it because it's not dark. Now I've got to undo it off the plug. And what I'll do is I'll get a bit of carb cleaner and I'll just hit that a bit of carb cleaner here. Alright. Sit that down on the shelf. Let's put this back in. Just give it a quick wipe. The actual gap looks good on here. Doesn't look like it's going to be a problem. Alright. Make sure you do up the plug. Don't do it up so you strip the thread. I actually seen one of these strip, the bloke brought it to me. And yeah, that was a nice mess. Alright. We've got that on. Now, I've got the bar and chain here. A Stihl bar it is. She's pretty dirty too. But when you stuff them in with these, you don't want to go clean them up because you don't want to go wasting your time. So to put these bar and chains back on, you take the bar out, push it up against the sprocket, like I'm doing here, and then you can just pull the chain on. Hang on, pull it around the tip, and just set it back up, but make sure it's in the bottom of the bar, like that. Then you've got to lift it back up and lock it in into the. This is where your chain tensioner is. Here, on it. It's a Stihl chain too, so whoever had it was used good stuff. Now how does this coil wire go? That's the mystery. Surely that coil wire wouldn't go in up in that cylinder. Like that. Where the bloody exhaust is. Surely not. Alright, let's put the nut on. Put the bar nut back on. When you do these bars up, make sure you hold them up. Lift off the chainsaw a bit when you're tightening it. We're not going to be adjusting the chain or anything. And hopefully I haven't damaged the spark on it or anything. The repair what we done on it. Hopefully it hasn't ripped it out. Because his gas goes in the top. Now this has got a little bit of gas in it too. So let's try and get some of that gas out. Same deal. Smells like shit too. Smells horrible. We want to be getting all of it out. Smells like it's been in here for Christ knows how long. Alright, let's throw some some good fuel in it. Put our fuel cap back on. Alright, so that's run. Says chokes that way is choke to the right. Let's see what it does. Very tired. Fired twice. Because it's been sitting for some time. That's what the problem is with it. Alright, let's undo it. It could need a carby kit through it. I mean, take the bar and that back off it too. Alright, let's leave it all. Leave the actual side cover off and see what it wants to do here. Fucking go. Just take that spark plug back out. reckon I might do is put a bit of fuel in the spark plug hole. When I took the spark plug cap back off it, I've been stuffing around with it. I still can't get it to go. Might give this one a miss for the time being and move on to another one, because this one's got a, I don't feel like pulling the carving that off it at the moment. Thing is, when I was stuffing around with it, I noticed there was some water in it, in the coil that come out of it for some reason. Let's have a look what's in here. Air fuel was nice. Very nice. Nice and clean. Get some carb cleaner, just give it a squirt in there. What I do is I'll just get some carb cleaner. Just pump some carb cleaner in it. Put the air cleaner back on it. It's a strange setup. Is that some of these chainsaws, especially when they've been sitting that for quite some time, like, you know, this is probably going to need a carby kit in it. I'm not feeling like putting a carby kit in it myself. I'm sort of just wanting to see if I can get it running on about 5, but I want to see water in it on the plug, Plus it's got a bad coil wire. The coil wire's not the best on it either. I don't think it's just got a carby problem. Thing is, when you muck around with chainsaws, especially these small ones, like, drop the bar on the ground, is that, like, even if this is run, it's not worth much as it is. Like, I've got bigger ones, because that's all I'm planning on doing, just getting them going and getting rid of them. I'm not planning on keeping them. I mean, I could probably just get rid of this for parts. That's the thing when you're playing around with them. You only go getting too much time invested in them. Something that's not worth much. Like, I mean, this thing's probably only worth $100 if it was going. What I do need from this though is getting fuel out of it. Alright, we'll set this little Stihl to the side. It's got issues itself. And we've got the next one, which is a McCulloch. This is another complete chainsaw. Trigger works good on it. All that. So let's put some fuel in it. Take this off and see what the e-clean looks like in it. The reason why I haven't got a lot of time to spend on that Stihl 009 is I've got, you know, there's like 10 chainsaws here, and some of them are going to be runners, and I want to get rid of them, the ones that, you know, I've got time or nothing to do sometime. I'll work on them if it's worth fixing. But right at the moment, when you've got other complete chainsaws, it makes no sense stuffing around with just one. Because that is model. We'll have a little air cleaner. What sort of carb is that one? Don't know. Air cam looks good on it. It's McCulloch. I just dumped the old gas out of it. The actual fuel that came out of this chainsaw wasn't too bad. So we've got a real small spark plug in here. I don't even think I'm going to worry about testing the compression on it. Got the choke on the other side here. Got the choke, I'll pull that out. This looks like it's an automatic bar oiler. And we lock the throttle. Let's just give it a crank. Got it on, stops down, looks like the up's on. Right, jam your boot in there. So we know the McCulloch runs. And we've got the Victor running. So where's the other McCulloch? Oh shit, I've got shit everywhere. So look at the old map. Now the pull starter's hanging out in this. Shows a bit of a trick here, this pull starter. Now sometimes the stuff can be actually jammed in it, see that? It's just a little bit sticky. So let's, oh jeez. Checking the fuel tank of this one. Let's get a sample of the fuel. And when I say a sample, what I do is I get a jug, make sure it's clean. What we do is we'll dump it down. Oh yeah, that smells real good. That is horrible. Alright, so what we need to do is get everything out of it. Throttle feels good on it. Doesn't feel like it's broken. This looks like the choke on the side of it. Old Mac. Feels good. I'll get some gas for it. Alright, I've got my gauge out. Screw that in there. Gauge up. Got plenty of compression. 125, 120. It's leaking a little bit too. so it's not going to have any problems with compression. It's a Bosch R10. That's all it says. What I think I'll do is I'll put a little bit of fuel down the plug hole. That's what I think I'll do. Just grab a little bit. And we want to be getting that out. We're washing that in the petrol tank. Put that back on. What I was saying is about chainsaws is when you get a bulk lot of them, that's alright, but don't get tied up into trying to get one going, because you know you could spend a lot of money on that one chainsaw. I mean, more than what the chainsaw's worth, so keep that in mind. This chainsaw here, I reckon some old timer or something's probably been using this. The chain looks good, doesn't look like it's all messed up, it's in good condition. Chain brake works. So how do we work it? Stop looks like it's down, that's on. Choke, jam the throttle. Alright, see what the whole there we go. Is there been stuffing around with the low and high mixtures? A little bit of fuel here. Just trickle that in there. Right, plug back up. When they've been sitting a fair while, putting fuel down the spark plug hole will get you a lot of success when you're stuffing around. So we've got spark. So this should go. Lock the throttle. Alright, see what it does. Might need to jam a bit more fuel down the plug hole. It doesn't seem like it's. Whoops. Put a bit more fuel down it. I'll do a little bit of fuel. Hopefully we'll get enough fuel by doing this. It will draw itself into it. Didn't get all of it in there. Some of it ran out. Definitely got good spark, this bloody kick. Might have put a bit too much in there. Alright, see what I'll do. old Mac. So the old Mac's good to go, and the chain sharp on that one too. So we've got the old Mac. We've got McCulloch. The old Mac and the McCulloch is good. And we've got the Victor. So I've got 3 of them. And they're all working good. This one just needed to get some petrol and had old shit in it. That's obviously why he couldn't get it running. So to put some petrol in the plug in that to get it to draw through. When they've been sitting a long time, they can get like that. So we know 3 of them are good. So that's 3 chainsaws out of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. 3 out of 11. We'll get the other McCulloch one out. I'll start that one up. If we can get that out. We've got the Dolmar one here. I'll get that McCulloch one out there. And we'll look at that and see what we can do with that. Alright, a good old McCulloch one here. Let's just have a look in here, in the cover, see what it looks like in here. This is how my grandfather used to sharpen chains like this. When they, this has been hit and stuff, you can just tell them that on the links of them, they've only hitting rocks with it. See how they're all mangled up on the ends of them. When the chain sharpen right down like this, even lower than this, they do seem to cut the best. Then better than the new chain when they're like that, but that chain doesn't look like it's in the best shape. So the air filter looks good in here. So what we'll do is have a look in the gas tank. It's got no fuel in it. That's good. It's a good sign. Alright, we're going to undo the pull starter. And if I'm right, the spring's out. The spring has flown apart. So I'll get some tools and we'll take this off. Alright, I've got some tools here. Let's undo it. They've already been in here. The screws are loose. They've seen that lovely spring. They've put it back together and then got rid of it. Now it means when you see something like this, they couldn't fix it. They'll just want to get rid of it. That's what them springs make you do. If you don't know how to fix them, if they come out, let's just hope they haven't mangled it up. If they haven't mangled it, and if you set it back in there, I'll be able to fix it. If they've mangled it, it's going to be a big deal. Seems like this chainsaw has been in use. Doesn't seem like it's been a saw that's been sitting around. Like just, you can tell by the, whoops, you can tell by the bottom of them that. You can see the wear in that where they've been sitting. And in the front of the dogs. And the plate that hasn't done a real lot of work, but definitely has cut some wood. What I'll do is I'll get a container for them screws. Got myself a jarry. That way when I take them out, I won't lose them. take that other one out. check the pull starter out. Whoops. That's what I was talking about, them screws. Get them screws out, put them in a jar. What I reckon the knucklehead's done is they've undone this screwy. The spring doesn't look like it's damaged. That's good. No damaged spring. Now I've already got a rough idea by looking at it. What have I done here? Of how it's supposed to go. That one's got to go over here. How it goes is that you put the spring on there like that. We're not going to do it yet though, but what we'll do is we'll pull it up and I'll show you what you've got to do here. Just by, I'm not 100% sure because I've never done one of these, but I can just see how it's supposed to go. You wind up that spring and it looks like there's a notch here in the cover, and that's where it's supposed to go in here. Once you wind the spring up, it's supposed to clip in here. So what it looks like, you probably got to wind the spring first in the cover. You might have to wind it up like this first in here. I'm not 100% sure, but that's what it looks like. It's sort of got that shape where that once you just don't damage the spring, otherwise you won't be able to use it. It'll be wrecked. But what I'm gathering is it might even sit in there like that, and you just got to wrap it all up. Go around and round with it. Like this. I might even wrap it in. Just make sure you keep your thumb in there. Don't pull the spring backwards, or it'll come out, flying out everywhere. But just wrap it up. Just like that. Whoops. A bit ahead of myself here. Just make sure you got your thumbs in there and keep it out of the way of anything. Just take your time when you wrap these springs. All I'm doing is going round and round with it. This is why a lot of people get rid of chainsaws and that, because when these springs come out of them, most people can't fix these. They have a lot of difficulty with them. And when they have an issue, they just prefer to sell the chainsaw, because people want that much money to fix them. Like the cost is so much. Right, that's how you wind the spring. We've done it already. Don't ever turn the spring up when it's like this and hit it, because once that comes out, it's going to be it. Shit will go everywhere. And how I work it out is that just sits on there. Got a tabby on it. I think that's the part that we're going to have to work out how that goes. That's the part I didn't I can see where it pushes in there, but we're not going to push that in yet. What I'll do is I'll get some cord, and we'll get enough cord and we'll wind this up. We'll see if we can do something with this pull starter. Alright, we've got some cord here. Now this cord, what I've got, it's not like the ideal cord that I really should be putting in it. It's a bit thinner. I haven't got any. I think the cord that's in it coming out 4mm. This one's like 3.5. But what we'll do is we'll tie some knots in it. So that's going to get pulled through then. That first knot what I tied in, it's going to. That's better. Put in a nice little ball. Will that get ripped through though? I don't think so. I think it's a clump of a knot. That should be right. Now, I'm not sure which way you got to wind this cord either. So let's try and work that out, which way it's supposed to be wound. Now, if you had the cord and you went to pull it, if you went to pull that cord, if it was wound like that, and you pulled it, it wouldn't go that way. So, where's the top? If I go to pull it, and it gets retracted again. I think that's right, that way. Alright, let's wind her up. We're not even going to take any of that cord off. And I forgot to get a pull start handle too. Yeah, well I've done it. That's hand. Just noticed the problem, so what we've got here, what I'll do is just grab that spring, whoops, already started unwinding it. Is it's missing a washer and a nut on the end of this screw. I was just, when I went to put that on there, I was just looking at it, I thought, what's holding it in position? And it's gone from it. So, Right, what I'll do is I'll hold the bottom of that. I don't even think we're gonna look what I've done to the cord. Alright, we're just going to stick this pull starter back on because it's got a broken spring on the starter pull of it. Got one end busted, it's missing the nut. And off this mechanism, and I can't fix it because I'm not going to get the parts for it. So, because this is a 610, I've got another 610 over there, it's the same, so I'll just sell this chainsaw as parts with the other one. Well, I don't even know if you can just... Nope. Just sit it back on there like that. There's no use trying to hook up the spring or nothing because it's not going to work without the bits, which is a shame really. But that's how it goes sometimes. And you've got to be careful too, because if you go putting heaps of money in something like this, you can end up spending heaps. Like, you know, just a couple of little bits and pieces like that for that mechanism. Could be like $40 or $50. And I'd rather just sell it for parts because other one's exactly the same I've got. Always such nice people when they pull stuff off. It'd be really nice if they had that. That washer and nut, and also the starter pull springs damaged as well. So, you know. A Husqvarna one, I've got Husqvarna ones in there. A Husqvarna one might fit it, but because the pull starter mechanism's, you know, not all complete, it's a problem in itself. So at the moment we've got 3 chainsaws out of about 12 or something. Gotta put this Allen key lock back in here. Dropping everything. Doesn't look like it's been going a long time, this chainsaw. It looks like someone's had it apart and wrecked it. But yeah, good part saw, that's for sure. So what we'll do is we'll stick this one next to the other one. And what I'll do is I'll write parts on it. I'll just put parts on here. And we know that one's good, which is nice because they're both matching chainsaws, so they can rob the parts off one for another. Alright. Next one, we've got a few basket cases. Oh, I think we'll get the Husqvarna one out. I've got a Husqvarna here. I think we'll get this. little Husqvarna 136. I think this will be the next one we'll work on. I'll get this one set up and then we'll see what's going on with this. So in this deal, there was two Husqvarna chainsaws here. So they're both 136s. So this is why I got these, because there's two of them. So, you know, it makes sense. Make sure you get two chainsaws of the same if you can, because you need to get parts off. This one here has got good compression. Nice and solid. This one here's got good compression too. Alright, we'll take the top cover off. You can't always rely on when you're pulling them over like that for compression either. I'm going to test it properly with a gauge. That's my rule now. Whenever I touch chainsaws, I always get a compression tester and test them out. Because in the past I've spent, you know, numerous hours trying to start them, fiddling around with them, and they've had bad comp. Straight away you notice there's a terminal on here. You can see that they've broke that one off and just put some crap ass terminal on there. So I can tell straight away. This one could be running chainsaw too. We'll see what this one's like. Take the plug out of it. That was bloody tight. And someone's probably been stuffing around with the mixture. Right, get the compression tester out. Screw it into the sauna. Plug it in. Let's give her a few pulls and see what she does. I'll just jam my foot on it. She's got 75 PSI, that's not good. Already, see that? 75. We'll check the other one and see what that's got. This has got 75, 80 PSI. I had a chainsaw before that had 80, and it was a no go. Could have a scorched cylinder, that. By looking at the spark plug that come out of it, tells me it was already lean, as it is. So it's probably been run on straight fuel. So let's have a look at this one. This one feels a bit tighter. And I'll show you other things to check in a minute too before we go looking at the wire and that. What they've made a mess of. They've had the air filter off it. That's been undone, as we can see already. Let's put the gauge on it. Give her a pull. This one's got nearly 100. The trigger's broken on this one. Just give that one more, a few more yanks. Definitely get 100 out of it. It is leaking a little bit too. definitely get 100 out of it. So this one being 100, it might be still usable. I do have rings and stuff for these saws too. I could put a set of rings in it as well if the cylinder's not rooted. I'll probably end up taking one of these apart and showing you what to do. Now we've got missing throttle here, we need a fix. So we're going to give that one a miss because that one's only got 80. But just before I go taking stuff off it, let's just make sure the case is not busted. So I'm going to check the handle. Mounts all feel good. Handle's not bent. We've got an odd nut on here. Some just shit they've put on it. See if we can get that off. They didn't even have the proper bar nut. And I'll show you how to tell what year this saw is too. This Husky 136. I specialise in these chainsaws. Got a bit of wear on the old chain brake here. But apart from that though, the cover looks good, it doesn't look busted. Now, on these covers here, in the rim of it, will say EM. I'll find out what year it is by the plate. It's a 136 Husky. Should have the bloody year on it. If you've got Stihls, they're on the top here. On the Stihls, they're on here. The bigger Husky, they've got them on the front here too. Serial number, you find out what year. But what you can do is these parts here have got a time stamp on them. I'm just trying to work out. You can't see nothing on the case. On the cover here, it's dirty. Got a bit of ads on here. Hang on, I'll just get a rag. I don't reckon you'll be able to read this because I've got a job to see it. I'll tell you what it is. No, I can't read it, it's too damaged. Yeah, it's too damaged for me to read that. It might be in the pull starter cover too, if I took that off. Can't see anywhere else on it. This one's got the, this one's still complete. Husky 136. It's weird. That serial number's loose. Clutch is good in it. Now, let me just look at the cover. Let's look at the cover on here. A 2003 it is. But they should have them stamped in the cover as well, that like they'll have the manufacturer of them. Old ones do. Old ones have got them on the in the side cover and that, like, you know, 88 for the 288s and that. I've got a pair of them in a 268. They tell you what they are. No, it's got it on here though. It's a 2003. It's a 38cc model 136. Alright. So it's a 2003 Husqvarna 136. I'll get a chair because I'm going to have to sit down because we're going to pull the... I need to fix the ignition, the throttle linkage on it. I don't know if they've broke it off or it just comes undone. Yep, they've broke it off. Of course they have. The good thing is, now, from what I remember before, I think we'd be able to take this one apart and swap the handle over. You can take these out. I can get them out. I can slide it out, but I'm just thinking the back of it's good. Just thinking about should I swap the handle or not on it instead of fiddling around. And I was thinking we've got the fuel hose, I think. Do they split like that? Like those ones? Yeah, let's take the handle off it. I'll take the handle off it. Then the reason why I'm going to take the handle off it, you can knock these pins out. They've got pins in them here. They're like little slide pins that hold the mechanism in place. You can knock them out. We'd be able to lift that out. We might be able to just swap that over, but I'm thinking it might be easier instead of fiddling around with that. You just take the handle off it, because this one's got good retraction where the mechanism is. This one's not so good. So they've obviously stretched the spring a bit in it. Probably refront. I reckon how this throttle got broken is it got hooked in a tree and reefed on it, and all that pressure wrecked it. So I'll grab myself a chair and we'll have a look at it and pull it apart. Looks like... Alright. Now to what we've got to do is take the handle off it first. If I can even get them out. Because the handle's stopping the chainsaw from splitting. Because what you can do is you can actually take the motor off them. I've got a heap of crap in this Allen key screw hole. I just got that crap out. And it's not uncommon to find these saws and that with them stripped. All the screws and that. People, they love stripping screws and chainsaws. Like as you've seen with this bar nut. Look, let's just put anything on there. I mean, just the things that people do. What we do is we've got them undone. And when you swap stuff too, like I'll swap this, and what you do is you make sure you put the stuff back on the chainsaw when you're pulling stuff apart. So when I've taken this stuff off, I'll put the handle back on, even though the throttle's broken, back on the other chainsaw there. It's got low comp. For that reason why is that they're not in bits. I can't stand people when they pull stuff apart. They don't put them back. Now I think we've got the fuel hose in here. That's the only thing that's going to be holding this. We've got another rubber mount in here. One of the screws. Come out of it. Right, now that fuel line in this card in here, where's the fuel line coming into it? The fuel line comes in. Is that just Yeah, I can see it. I'll have to, I'll get a screwdriver, and be very careful when you do this. Get a screwdriver on the actual fuel line, and just use the screwdriver just to prise the line upwards. I might have to take it. Bloody fuel line's been on there that long. Yep, I got it off. It's got fuel in it. What I should have done first is I should have undone the tank. Only got a little bit. And what I normally do is I take a sample of the fuel in it. Now if you look at this, that doesn't even look like it's got any oil in it. It looks like unleaded. But this is the sort of people you deal with. I mean, this thing, like, I mean, this is what you're up against when you're doing this sort of stuff. So we've got the fuel line. I think the fuel line sits underneath the carby. We've got one more. No, that's it. And the line should pull out of here. Oops, I've got shit flicked in my eye, and here's the chainsaw apart. So what we'll do is, we know this one's good, so we'll set that motor on the ground. We'll set that one over there, out of the way. Rubber mounts come out of it. Let's have a look where that's come from. Let's have a look here. Oh, it's come out of here. That's where it's come out of. Just sits in there. Alright, I'm going to set that motor on the ground. Now, I'll move this other stuff out of the way, because we'll have to do the same to this one. This one's got a nice side cover. This chainsaw's done no work, but I don't think they've mixed oil with it. They've scored the cylinder and wrecked it. It's not uncommon for people to score and wreck them. If you had another throttle piece, before I even do this, I'll just explain to you. If you had actual another throttle for this holder here, this is where you change it right now. Now you've got the handle off it, you knock that pin out, what holds this linkage in, and this is supposed to have a spring in it too. I think the spring's gone out of it. I know the top's got a spring in it, but it's weak as weak. Like you just see that. See how good that spring is, and see this? It's hardly anything in it. But yeah, they've busted it clean off. But yeah, if you knock that pin out, that's how you can change this. Just letting everyone know. If you're stuffing around your chainsaws at home and you want to know how to fix some of these problems. You can't go wrong when you put these back together. The only thing I can see it's going to be a little bit of an issue getting this back in is actually the bloody chain brakes on. Is that fuel hose. Getting that fuel hose back through there looks like it's going to be the fiddliest part of the chainsaw. That's the only thing I can see, because it pokes in there. You have to get this one out off it the same way. This fuel hose is a lot tighter. It's got no room in it. Which is telling me this fuel line's very old. got a kink in it. I'm probably going to have to put some fuel line in there before I put this chainsaw back on, because that's going to give itself some trouble. So what I'll do is I'll just undo the handle again on it. You just got to be careful if you're thinking about putting a set of rings or something in these too, because if the cylinder's stuffed, like, you know, it's stuffed, but once if they got grooves in it from being scored, putting a new set of rings in it, it's not going to fix it. So just keep that in mind too if you're thinking about, you know, it depends how bad the cylinder is. You could probably hone it a bit too to try and reduce it, but normally they score on the is it the exhaust side, the hot side? When people say score, what it means is the ring snags the coating on the cylinder and it drags it up and down from excessive heat, and it takes that chrome coating off it, and then the rings leak when it goes past that whole section. So just pull that handle off too. This one's missing the in here, so it looks like someone already might have been thinking that swapping the handles is probably a good idea, but unfortunately for them, they never got that far. They've seen the work and they wasn't very experienced at knowing what to do. So they thought, oh, I'm not touching that. They just thought it was better to get rid of it. Which is great for people like us that want to do this sort of stuff, because they're literally throwing away a good chainsaw. That'll fall out itself in a minute. Right, I've got another one in here. I'm probably going to have to go and dig out a new bit of fuel line too and put on the chainsaw. I don't know if they've got a little tab on the top, or they actually go in the tank, but I've got that size fuel line anyway. That's the one I never took out the other side, and the handle just fell out. This one here, that's what's missing, another one. That's why I couldn't work it out. It's missing the chain catch. And I took that off. I thought that's why it fell out so easy. I didn't take this one off. It doesn't have a chain catch on it. It's weird. Yeah, I never took the chain catch off it, so it's already missing the chain catch, which actually holds the rubber man in the chainsaw, and they've already took that off too. So if I'm right, we should be able to just pull this out completely, and we're going to use that handle. So what I'll do is I'll set that loader down over on the ground over here for the time being, because so we don't get it mixed up. Now we've got our fuel line here. All the mounts looking good now. They're not torn or nothing. That's good. That's that spring that was. Alright, now we've got our new fuel line here, which I've just got some out of the shed. And the fuel line fits on the fuel filter good, but this hole where it goes into the tank is a bit small. Now I've got a solution for this, to fix this. What we'll do is we'll get a drill bit, which I don't know where my bloody drill bit is. I've got it in my pocket here. And what it is the original fuel line was shrunk down and it fitted in there like it was shrunk and sat there like that. Well, my fuel line doesn't shrink down like that. So I've got a drill bit here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill into it, just like you see here. I'm not going to slog the hole out much, just a fraction of a hairline, and I'll use a bit of old gas. It still needs to come out a little bit more. It's still a bit too tight for me to squeeze that fuel hose through, so we'll just obviously, if you need to do is push it down a bit more so I can grab it. And I've got the fuel line extra long too, so it doesn't matter if you damage it, it's not going to affect it, because we'll be cutting that off anyway. I think what I need to do is I need to grab it from the top with the pliers and pull it so it doesn't stretch it. What we need to do is I need to pull this out, and I need to inspect it where I've been poking it, because I know at the start there I just want to cut that off. Just snip that off like that. And then we'll get our fuel filter, which don't go sticking your dirty hands all over it. Alright, now we need to pull our fuel line back up. Just want to check that. I'm sure there's no damage in it. No, I haven't damaged it. Righto, drop that fuel filter in the tank, and we pull our line up, but don't go pulling the fuel line out too much. Just sit it like that. So we've got our fuel line in. We've had to do a modification. It's sealed up real nice and tight around here. It's not going to leak from there ever, because it's very tight. Right, now we need to bring a chainsaw back. I'll check out the ball too while I've got it like this, and it looks pretty neat and tight in there. Just pull it, take it down. Whoops, just lost the mount. Doesn't look like there's any scoring in it. To get at it, let's just feed all the line back through it. Whoops, carefully. Get your mounts back in there. Right, let's slip in. Make sure you got the chainsaw laying upside down, like this. And the first one we're going to get in, to get them mounts lined up, get a little Allen key, poke in there, because you won't damage the thread. And this will be the first one we put on the chain catcher, which will be going right here. Where's the bloody tool? Allen key. So I'll put the chain catcher on it. Right, I haven't got it started yet. Yep, it is now. And just don't go flopping the handle around, because you don't want to move it round while the Whoops. Let me drop the grommet. Get a screw for the oh no, they're the handle. Where's the for the AV rubbers? Alright, we've got two in there. No, they're not right. That's one of them. They're missing the screws. What we're going to do is tighten this AV rubber up. Like that. And we've got one more that's got to go in here. So we'll get a... We don't want to put that screw in there because that screw's not right. They've got odd screws what they've put in here. We might have to put a handle one in there. By the looks of it, but it's not going to fit anyway. Let's take one out of the other chainsaw. I'll get one of them screws out of them. Got this other chainsaw here. We're just going to dig this one out. So we need that for our other one. And what I'm talking about is they're not Allen key ones, they're screws. I'll put that in the handle in the AV mount, which was missing on the one what we've just done. I'll sit over there for a minute because we're going to be taking more parts off that. Make sure you wipe your hands before you go touching anything. First thing you should do is once you've put the fuel line in the tank, is put the fuel cap on there, keep any rubbish out. Just do that up like that, because we don't want just anything getting in the spark plug hole. We're just going to put a spark plug, just any crap in it, because we're going to put the champion one in, and another saw. Right now, we've got this all done up, all the mounts on it. Now we've got to put our stopper in here. Let's get our handle back on. Which one's the better handle out of the two? I think the handles are a much and a muchness, really. They don't look like they. Doesn't matter. It's not going to matter which handle, because it's they're both just as equal. Alright. Whoops. Bloody rubber fell in the rubber bushing. It sits in the handle. It's like an anti-vibration. Right. Now, is it the long ones on this side or the short ones? I think it might have been the long ones here. Bottom of the bolts out in the base gasket, because I didn't have I ain't got long T-handle screwdrivers now, but these ones, it wouldn't fit in there. Right, got one holding the coil, and we just swap that harness over. I really had a job getting this piece of crap out from in behind here. I'll tell you, it was fighting me the whole time through there. It's sitting freely. Alright. The next thing is what was missing off this chainsaw is this air duct. So let's put this on. A cool starter. Our pull starter sitting flush, yep. Alright, now, where's our flathead screwdriver? Alright, now what we'll do is, before we go doing anything else up, I'll just check this, make sure it's rotating properly, which it is. Put the spark plug back out, just for the time being. Alright, now, I've got my cover here. Before we do anything else, we need there is another grommet that goes in here that was missing. So let's just jam that in there, because that's for the mixtures. And our air filter. Are we going to use this one, or where's the other one? Is there another air filter here? Or is that only one? Oh no, there's one. I think we'll be using that one because it's clean. Right, do these up. Talk about a lot of stuffing around for a little chainsaw. I mean, this thing's, there's so much stuff that's been taken off it now. This cover sits on here. Let's take the spark plug out. Let's take this one out. There's the tool. Where's my spark plug tool? Here it is. Let's get rid of this spark plug. Some piece of shit Chinese spark plug. They've got a good champion one here. Let's just make sure they're the same length. Alright, after digging around for a bit, finally found it. Let's just see what this other one was gapped up first. One was gapped at about what, 0.28. This one's gapped at hardly nothing. Yep. It's gapped at what? 0.23. Let's increase the gap. You know? Increase the gap to about 0.3. Oh. Now, let's see what the spark's like now. Why the hell is that switch? Let's put on start. Didn't tighten them up properly either. Whoops, about that. Should have tightened that up first. That might be having something to do with our spark too. It's hard to bloody see it. does not have very good spark. I've taken the shit off this other chainsaw. What I didn't do is, when under that screw on the coil, I didn't go checking the air gap in the foil. I should have probably done that. Got a good spark on this plug, so it means the air gap must be alright. Another old Champion one mustn't be much chop, so I won't be putting that in. Just do this up and put the cap on it. Now this throttle gets held in like that. Fuel line doesn't have a kink in it, no. Alright. Let's get the cover. We'll put that back on it. That actual cover, believe it or not, stops that throttle from coming in and out. How stupid is that? Oh well. Right, that'll do me. Wants to pull that on, wants to stick. Seems like they've stuffed around the lower one too. Any cords in the way. What this one here does is, this one here is just your idle and turn it up and down. But I can't seem to. Can't keep the bastard running. Let's set them at both one. Just to let you know, They're definitely supposed to have wheelbarrows on them. Here's a wheelbarrow. That's a fucking Chinese piece of shit on that. So, that's what's going on. Someone put a Chinese heap of shit on that. I bet they took the wheelbarrow carby off, threw that in the bin, had a cracked fuel line in the bottom of it, threw that out in the trash thinking it was that and they couldn't get it going, and they put that heap of shit on there. I thought that carby was fucking weird. I thought they're supposed to have wheelbarrows on them. But I'll take their footage from in here. Now why can't I get that off? I've already had it off once already. It wasn't coming off again. Yeah. I put a piece of hose in here. It definitely did work. On that bung, but this is what come out of it. I've cleaned it out, the hole and that, but still don't want to run right. I'll put mine back in it. Just want to check it and make sure. Now I've got to get it back in there. Alright, I've got that back in there. That's the one I made up. The one that come out of it is here. And the one that come out of the other one is it was split. So this was out of one of them I made and this was out of the other. So we've got two different types of rubber, and that was stuffed. So Trying to work out if that one's flared over a bit, if it's not sealing properly on that, because this one's more round. Thinking I might force this one on there. What I'll do is I'll get some carb cleaner, put some carb cleaner in, put in this hole. And what this does here, this fitness, it pulses off the crank into the carby. So it's very important. It's a very important fitting. This one looks like it might be a... Put this one on there. It's a lot of stuff around trying to get back in there. You've got to put it in frontwards first. I've got the kill switches in the way. Hang on. Take the kill switch off. Let's pull that off. Move the kill switch out of the way. And it's very fiddly trying to get back in there. Like, I mean, it's not something that you want to be taking on and off all the time. If you lube it up and you go to press it in, this one's got a different, this one's jammed with fuel line. Shit. Right. It looks like I've got it jammed in there. Now get me a little tool. I'll force it in there more. And obviously the next thing is to get the thread started. Got that fuel on, got no pressure on it. Because that fuel on sitting like that, it's going to be in the way. So I'll have to undo this for a minute. Take the bracket out. See if we can get that fuel on. And then try and do something with that fuel on it. I've got it kinked up at the moment. I'll cut that fuel line a minute. Let's try and get the... Where do we get the rest of the old holes? The carb. Right, we'll try and run it. Alright, I've put all the carby back together. Now I found out what's hiding so hot is I'm going to follow this thing. I'm going to follow this because it's pressing on the foot. It's making it run hot. When you put the cover back on it, well, just press on here, you're pressing the throttle. When it gets pulled down, it's dragging the throttle with it. So it's still pressing it down there. So I'm going to have to saw a bit out of it. And what I reckon's caused this problem with the throttle, I've just been trying to work it out. I swapped this linkage off the other chainsaw there, and maybe that earlier model, this top piece here is a bit higher, and that's why I'm getting this issue here with the throttle. So I need to make sure the cover cutout is as big. I was thinking about bending the arm a bit, but that's just been dodgy, so I'll just sort it out. Once I do that, I'll start it. I'll show you. Alright, so the chainsaws we've got running and they're good is the Victor. You've seen that, the McCulloch. I've got that one running. This one's going to go for spares with that McCulloch. We've got the old Mac. We've got that running. That's good. And we've got the Husqvarna. It's still a bit temperamental and touchy, but it is running, and I have robbed heaps of parts off this one to get it running, but I'm going to sell that one with it. And we've got these chainsaws over here left. There's another, what, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 more to go, and I'll just give you a bit of a quick look over these ones first. So let's start with this Echo. I've looked over this Echo already. It's got to be loose bar nut on it, but this 452, it appears it's got good compression, but the spark plug cap's damaged, so we're going to have to do something about that with the core. But I think I can get this one running. This one's definitely going to be a running chainsaw, it should. So we'll sit that one over here. Now, this other Echo here, this little 290 EVL, which is half complete, but parts might be in the bin, and this bin here for it, so he tells me. Could be the pull start, but this thing has done no work. I mean, look at the paint on it. I'm not 100% sure about this one. I'll be able to get it running. Stihl, this is one of them, 009, and this is the other one. Now we've already tried to get one, this white one, that's right. We'll try to get the white one going, and we haven't had much success with that, but I reckon we'll be able to rob parts off it. It probably should have the same coil on it, same coil in here. It's a bit loose. This one's got very good compression. This one's got good pretty good compression too. So I'm going to stuff around these a lot more, these two Stihls. So sit down on the ground there. Now, I've looked at this Dolmar and I've gone over this and I noticed a couple of things with this. It's a 114. Looks like it's been caught in a tree and they've busted it, or the logs come back and smashed into here. And also, it's got hardly any compression. It's got hardly anything, so this one's just going to be good for parts. Someone has played around with it. They've got like a new fuel line on there, but yeah, it's got no compression. I can tell by already before you even touch it. This one's probably a lemon. That's never going to run. This one, this Echo 702, this one's got good compression. That's with the compression on. This is when it's off. She's tight as tight. And this one's had the fuel filter taken out of the tank for some reason. I don't know why they've done that. And the air cover's missing. But when I seen this one for sale, I'm only going to use this for parts, because I've got a 750 EVL and the exhaust and all this is the same as that one, what I've got. So this would be good parts chainsaw for that. We will try and get this one going though, because this one will run, I know it will. They're a pretty good chainsaw, these guys. This one here, the 660, looks like it's been brand new, and they've been pulled this apart, but they've decided they'd cut heaps of wires off it, which is a damn shame, because it doesn't look like it's ever done no work. I mean, look at the paint only scrapped on the bottom of it. Can't believe someone brought a brand new chainsaw, but they're out there. That's that one. We've got this 502. It's a CS 452. Reckons the parts are in there, but look what we've got here. A bent exhaust rod. What's the piston like in it? Still looks like as new. So is the piston, apart from a little bit of dirt, and for some reason they've smacked it with something hard, which I don't know why you'd do that for, why you bent that rod. Could be possible that this one got hooked in a tree or something. But yeah, another one pulled apart. We've got a little Echo arbiter saw. Which don't want to move. Which is jammed up. And it's got a bar stud that's missing. Don't know if that's the cover off it. Yep, sure is. The bar stud's still in it. Look at that. And we've got to work out why that's locked up. So, yeah. And the front part might be in it too, I'm not sure. Here's a pull start off an Echo. It's not off that one. Ah, it's probably off the one down the green there, yep. That's what it's off. It's off this 290 EVL down there. We've got that, and we've got another cover here or something. Probably off that. No. That was off the Chinese piece of shit. Don't know what about. Don't know. This was probably off. This was probably off the front here somewhere, I'd imagine. Don't know. I'd imagine it was only an air filter sat on here like that. That's the air filter to it. Got the air filter. And that's probably the cover here for it. Yep, it is. So, and that goes on there. I didn't take any of this off, but you can see straight away the primer bulb is ripped. So it's never going to prime fuel, so that's probably what's wrong with this. And it seems to be locked up for some reason, it's real tight. But we've got the parts for that in there. And we've got parts for this one too, by the looks of it. And yeah, this will be part 2 of the chainsaw videos. Obviously the Stihl 114, that's a loss, it's got no compression. The 660 Echo is a loss too. The 290 EVL, that's real tight, and the couple of Stihls and the other 452 Echo should run. And yeah, tune in for part 2 of these. I just thought I'd give you an update because I've already got 4 of them done, and the other 2 saws, I've really got 6 of them done because the other 2 saws are for parts. And yeah, so we're going to have a 702 we're going to get going, and I'm going to play around them Stihls more because I should be able to get them running. I need to do something about a coil because the coil wire's butchered up in it, and the 452 EVL's got a bad coil wire too, and I'll have to try and work out what I'll do with that. And yeah, we've got a couple of these arbiter saw here, a little Echo one, which is pretty new. It doesn't look like it's done hardly any work, but just been pulled apart for some reason. Oh, thanks for watching. And also, when you're playing around with these, just be careful, like when you go and get chainsaws and that in a bunch of them like this, because you don't know what's wrong with them. Like these Echo saws and that, they're quite old and you can't get parts for them. So it's like the Stihl, it's obsolete, a lot of the parts, and it'll cost more to get them fixed. Like if you got a new cylinder, you wouldn't be able to get an aftermarket cylinder for that Stihl 114, the parts will be obsolete. Them Stihls are the same. You don't, if you could get a cylinder, it'd be only a Chinese shit unless someone had a good OEM new old stock. Like you might be able to get new old stock, but they'd want more than what the chainsaw's worth to fix it. So that's why the chainsaws are just junk for parts. And yeah, these other ones, and yeah, just keep that in mind, that if you get them cheap, that how much you'll spend on them. And yeah, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, share, and hope you enjoyed the part 1 of the chainsaws.